Hey, how's it going, guys? I hope you all are doing fine. And welcome back to our brand new episode of ASL Podcast. And guess what? We are on our 20th episode. So, this is a 20th episode. What do you call it? Anniversary? Probably not, but a 20th episode memorial something. Okay? So, before we get into the main topic, I'd like to start off with our weekly recaps, and we could probably start with Himal.
Yeah, thanks to the great opportunity, right, Yos? You gave me a first opportunity to start, and then yeah, it feels good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a couple of things to share. Thanks to host for the chair. It really feels good to be here.
Oh, you're
Hey,
welcome. It's
woohoo!
almost a pleasure.
And then thanks to the other guy behind the cameras for sending my laptop back to me,
Huh?
my
Okay.
beast. Yeah, thanks to the guy. And then yeah, I'm happy that I got my baby back with me, sitting on my lap all the time. And then
Chris, saw your guitar and thank
Yep.
me.
Oh,
Because you gotta do
probably
that.
not.
Because you guys just did the trade, so I'm the only one who is in loss here, so you gotta thank me, man. At least I deserve that.
All right, thank you so much, Anda, for the guitar.
okay, yeah,
It's like,
thanks Ananda for being a middle person. I'll do the parts. Thanks
yeah,
Ananda
yeah,
for being a middle person, and then yeah, I
thank you
had
for
other
being
things to
the
thank you, bro.
financial
I'll do it,
institution that we always wanted.
bro. We just had a discussion about giving a time to talk one and one, and
Oh,
then you
yes,
interrupted
Himal,
me.
you could
Such
go
a
on.
such a bad host there. That being
If
said,
you want, Himal.
I had a thing to thank you, Ananda. I'll do that on your hosting. No worries. Wait for
What is
that
it?
one.
What is it?
Yeah,
What are
that's
you
being said,
trying
my
to wait? What are you trying to get me into? What is it? No, I'm not
no,
here,
bro.
all right?
You
Don't don't
bro,
expect the
don't
shit
don't
from
get off
me.
here, bro. No, no, bro. You don't have to be there. I already did what I have to do, so it's already done. The thing that I'll be sharing is already been done, so you don't have to worry about you won't be in a financial loss. So good on you.
All right, sounds fair.
That's been said. My week has been good, and then
And then, mate.
yeah, got my laptop. Okay, sorry, I'm working on that. I got my laptop back. I got
Asis,
this chair
wait,
this
wait,
morning, and
just a second. Asis, I have a request for you. Can you please count how many times Iman says and then and let us know in the comment section? Please do this for
alrighty,
us, man.
that's a challenge.
Every time Iman says and then just
That's a
do
challenge.
a do a straight line in the copy and you can it's very easy,
And then cross, yeah,
Yeah.
using the Roman number system. That's
Hmm.
being said, I just got this chair this morning. I do unboxing. I recently drop a video on my YouTube channel about the coffee machine, all the stuffs that I had a fun. We went to shopping. I got my laptop. I'm pretty happy. Yeah, I'm getting back into the form for my studies. Good luck for me with that. That was my whole week, I would say. So yeah, passing on the mic to you, Ananda. I would like to hear from you.
Yeah, so
Thanks.
before we even get on to the weekly stuffs, I'm really excited to be doing this pod in the morning because see, I can have tea while doing pod, man. I don't have to go for chamomile tea or something like that because most of the times we're doing it in the night. I can just sip a cup of tea and just do the pod. Wow, so such a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I'm about to, get off with my fourth semester of the college. So I'll have almost 6 months of leave. So I guess we'll mostly be doing the pod in our morning, Himal and mine morning, and Chris night. So Chris, yeah, you had enough of your fun time for like a couple of months. Now it's our turn to do it in the morning, and look good. The you look really charming in the morning. So yeah, Chris. I mean, it is what it is. So you gotta accept that. Himal, cheers.
I mean, it's I
Yeah,
mean, it's
majority
fine with me
All
wins.
right.
because I look good
Majority
every
wins
time.
all the
So,
time.
You
hmm
don't look good in time. Yeah, definitely makes sense. Um,
Yeah, because
with that being said,
okay, yeah.
for my week, it has not been anything interesting particularly because, I mean, we did the poll last week. I had all the amazing thing last week. This week has been pretty mid. We Mid. Am I starting to speak like Gen Z or something? Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. This
You are
week,
one.
this week has been pretty mid, no cap, and yeah, just hit the gym, do the pod, drink some tea, have really healthy food, and do some work as well. I'm starting to, I'll be applying for visa this Wednesday, so yeah, good luck to me on that. And other than that, I don't
Mhm.
think I have much to share. I'm starting to prepare my slides as well, and yeah, it's May already, man. The week is already about to end. Like it's already the fifth month of the year, and the new year 2025 was like just a couple of months back. But now, see, time flies, right? So yeah, I guess maybe we can
Mhm.
talk, Chris. Maybe we can talk on something like this. Time
Oh
flies.
my God.
Nostalgia and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
I leave
how
this
Yeah.
to
how
you.
fast and
I leave this to
Oh,
you,
okay.
Chris. Yeah, yeah. That's it
Wow,
from
I
my
never
side.
thought of that topic, but
okay.
yeah, good initiative by Ananda, man. Really
Okay,
good.
that's being said, like I don't like to accept the reality that Anand is hitting his gym on a daily basis and then he's really making a progress. Good luck on that, Ananda. Yeah, you're really having a good one. Like I can see the changes on your body.
Hmm.
I don't know about the other thing, but the bicep and the shoulder that you're working on, I can see the changes. So
Chest as well, mate.
good, yeah, good
You
luck on
you you
that,
you want me to open this up? What do you say?
bro. Come on, be real.
All right.
We just had a discussion about having a great professional pod.
All right then. All right.
All right, Chris. So what's the topic for the day as a
Wait.
host?
Let,
Oh,
let
wait,
Chris.
let me get
From
Chris.
into my weekly recap.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm pointing out the host that from where do you want to start about the thing that we're
bro.
discussing
Of
right now?
course,
He
of
hasn't shared
course.
his weekly recap. Let him do that first. All right. You don't need to take
Hmm.
over the
I
hosting.
forgot. I forgot. My my bad.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no problem,
Sorry.
Mal, no problem. It's my privilege to let you guys speak. But yeah, getting back to my weekly recap. That is a nice one. But
Professional
getting back
mind.
to my weekly recaps, what I've been trying to do
Not
is I've
bad.
been trying to get back on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to start vlogging again, but it's still gonna take some time. I'm finding it difficult to get like a pretty good content, I'd say. I mean, vlogging is
Chris.
all about capturing your everyday life, right? But still, I want it to be something unusual, something better. So,
Yeah, unique,
uh-huh.
right? Yeah, but I have a
Yeah,
question. When
and
did you
that's
even vlog?
wait, really? You haven't seen my the channel
The
like
freshman one.
after I
Yeah,
came
freshman.
here?
Chris to Chris. Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay, I get it. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah, it was like exactly 6 months ago. So I was uh when I looked back at that vlog, I was reminded that oh, I had to work on that again. And I could probably make a vlog about my summer break or life as a second semester student in his freshman year, something like that, right? But yeah, I'm finding it hard to find like unique content, so I'll probably work on that. Probably now that the summer break is about to start, I feel like I'd be going out a lot, so I'd have more content for that. But yeah, good luck to me with that. And also, my finals are, I am on my final. Look at him, oh man, he's making his own vlog, but still, I'm on my
See,
final exam week, and I just gave my calculus exam today. And the best thing about today itself is that I went to a jazz festival here in New Orleans, and I got to meet one of my what can I say, like one of the artists that I've followed for a lot of years, and I got to listen to her live, so that was really a privilege, and it was my first concert for an international artist, basically, so like the first big concert. And really, I was really grateful for the opportunity, even though the ticket was a little on the expensive side. It was $100, but it was all worth it to
bro, bro, Zaz is
listen to Anand.
literally Zaz is literally buzzing, man. One of the girls
Oh
literally.
hell no,
So
bro.
here's my story on that. One girl,
Doesn't.
one girl of my college went to a jazz festival, and I was
Uh,
seeing there some people had sarangi, some people had bopopopo, some people had different sorts of instruments, and they were playing they were playing
mhm.
really boringly. Even Vazan is better than jazz. I mean, the initial part of buzzer is jazz. You know, the first part where everything is really slow, slow, slow. That's jazz. And I was like, what the hell? It has name like, it should be electric guitar, rock star. The name did
Yeah,
the name feels like that, but the thing itself was so boring. I mean, I saw that story. So seriously, you spent $100 on that, Chris?
You probably saw Jazz of Ratnapark, or basically Nepal, because
Nope. They
the
were
hometown of Jazz is in New Orleans.
I mean, the people were Khaire, so the people who did
Oh
the
yeah.
festival were foreigners. So it's not like
Mhm.
some
they
random
were
ass
foreigner, bro.
tours.
What do you
Yeah.
mean by
Well, see
what do you
what
mean
you're
by
talking about
curry,
is
bro?
See, what you're
What?
complaining about is like you're eating veg momo. I mean, you're eating momo here in America at a Nepali restaurant, and you're complaining about that, even though you know that there is the momo tastes better back home in Nepal, right?
All right,
It's the
let's do
same
this.
thing here.
Let's do this. Let's start speaking. Let's just see what jazz festival looks like with our own eyes. We'll do that after the pod. All right.
Mhm.
So yeah, you
Yeah,
can
but the
think
thing
about it.
is,
Yeah.
jazz
Hundred
was
bucks, fucking awesome,
The thing is,
crazy.
see, I mean, see, jazz was invented in New Orleans, so you guys can probably imagine how good it might sound because it was literally invented here, right? So it was pretty worth it, and I'd say I'd say it was worth every penny that I spent on the
You
concert
just
today. But
you
still,
just don't
getting
know. You just don't know the value of $100, mate. It's a lot.
Yeah, I
I
was saying
know
the
it's a
same.
lot. Yeah, I know. I was comprehending a
But
lot before I bought my ticket. I called my uncle, I called my friends about that, and they, I mean, they told me that it was a once in a lifetime
I
opportunity.
mean,
So why not?
YOLO. All right, great for you.
YOLO, yeah, right?
Yeah,
YOLO,
Yellow
YOLO.
Genji, treat girl, Genji,
it's
Genji,
not Gen Z,
yellow.
it's Gen
No,
Z,
no
mate.
Genji, no Genji, bro, no Genji.
Oh, bro, I don't know. I don't
Generation
care because I'm
Z.
not one of them.
Yes,
You're
yes,
Alpha.
Mr. Ganji.
You're Gen Alpha.
Oh
Alpha or
yeah,
something.
he's good. No, he's Gen Alpha. Genji. Gen Alpha.
Genjutsu, yeah. All right.
No, but getting back, okay. So today, I'd like to share one of my experiences today while giving my calculus exam. So I entered the room, right? And I smelled this so distinct smell that it reminded me straight back during the time when I used to give exams at my school in Nepal. That I don't know, someone wore that kind of perfume that smelled so much similar. That smell that
Now,
literally made me
let me
nostalgic.
let me
Okay.
interrupt you. Someone may have farted, the same way someone used to do in school. Maybe that's the reason. Think
Come on,
out of the
Yeah.
man.
box, bro.
Maybe they
I'm
had
being
this,
serious
Out of
here,
the
man.
box,
maybe they had eaten some mama and
Yeah, they had the
farted.
same
So
thing last night.
yeah.
Come on, Himal. But seriously, it is such a distinct perfume that I was immediately reminded of St. Xavier's exam hall, which is why I wanted to bring about this topic today because it's a very recent event. And what I wanted to discuss about in general was how factors like smell and music, right? And just like other random things, they sometimes take you back to those nostalgic days, and you can really see it, or what can I say? Like you can really feel the presence with just that smell alone, or with just that sound alone. Which is why I wanted to talk about this whole nostalgic. I mean, deep diving into our nostalgia, right? So yeah, as I was talking about my about the distinct smell that I smelled in my exam hall, right? So I wanted to talk about different things that in some way reminds us of our nostalgic childhood days, right? So before I talk about myself, what I wanted to ask you guys was like, what would be one nostalgic thing? Uh, what would be one very precious memory that you have, right? Which to this day feels very nostalgic to you. It might be like 2, 3 years ago, it might be like 10, 15 years ago, right? But what is one? one big event or one big memory that, or even even smell or even music, right? You could discuss about that.
Hmm.
Okay, for your information, before Anand start talking, so I don't have a nostalgic memory from the 15 years ago because I wasn't even born at the time. I'm too young to be here.
Then
Oh, you're a
also,
So
minor? Okay.
yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I know. And then yeah, that's been said. Another you can share yours, and then I'll
Genji. Genji.
follow you.
Mhm.
15 years ago, that's a long
uh,
time. I remember 10 years ago, but 15 years, that's a long time. I
I mean,
wish I wish I was there to remember something. I wish I wish I had a great time.
Genji, truly a Genji.
See, even photographs help you to really connect with those old days.
So,
I'd like to share one, but after you guys.
for me, I think there are a couple of, things that bring back the good old memories, but I can't really remember it much, man. I cannot really remember it right now. So,
But
Mhm.
that's the 35 effect.
sorry,
If you know, you know.
what?
That's the 35 effect you're having right now.
I didn't get you.
35 effect.
So 35 effect in Napoli. Like 35 effect in Napoli. That's what I used to say you.
I didn't get you.
Bro, you must get it. 35.
35,
Convert
yeah.
that into Napoli.
All right.
And then 35 effect. When you're dumbass, I used to say that you're gonna 35.
Oh,
35
okay,
effect.
okay, okay, okay. I get it, I guess.
No,
Yeah, but why did you even bring that up? It's kind of random, right?
maybe you guys are too old, because I remember everything. Because I even remember when I was born.
Oh
It
yeah,
feels like
because you were born
yesterday.
like what, 10 years ago?
It Yeah, it feels like yesterday, but it's already been 10 years.
Seriously, Mo, don't make a joke of
I
yourself,
can't look.
man.
Come on, too young, too young. I didn't even
Oh,
have a beard on my cheeks
oh, wait,
like
Mo,
you guys.
you actually attended your parents' wedding, right? Yeah, you even remember that.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I do remember. I had a discussion with my family, like when it was like, bro, I'm being honest. So it was like when I was like a kid, between the age of 5 or 7 or 10, I don't know, I don't remember exactly. Like a toddler, I guess I would say a toddler. So there's a thing called a DVD. You guys remember or not? The tape thing. You gotta put in, and then you gotta watch whatever it is. So we're
Mhm.
watching the wedding of my parents, and then I was an innocent little kid, back in the days. What I did was I argued like, why the fuck did you guys like? Why the fuck I wasn't here? I wasn't there at the wedding. Why did you guys like left me behind? You guys didn't even invited me on the wedding. That's not fair. And then I started fighting. I started shouting. I started, crawling around. No, 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 like a toddler. And then what they did to me, I still remember. So there was a one random baby, like someone was carrying with the aloe jumper on it, and then they say, "Oh, that's you," and then I was like, "Calm down, that's me on the wedding." And, oh, fuck, bro,
I
that's
kind of
real.
believed
That's
it,
real.
man.
Chris,
That's real. That's
some
real.
things never change, Himal. It's still the same way, right?
Yeah.
So,
Uh,
bro, I still remember that. So, to be honest, yeah, and you're trying to make fun of me, but that was a real incident. Thanks to you, man. I gotta like share this with you guys.
so, see,
I
nostalgia,
feel,
man. Yeah,
yeah,
Nostalgic
nostalgia.
day.
And then,
yeah.
so
Nostalgia,
if I
no,
have to talk
bye.
about that, I recently, nost- what's that again? Please
Yeah,
help me with that. I'm working on my pronunciation. Yeah.
Chris, help him, man.
How
Nostalgia.
do I pronounce it? Come on. Come on, help me.
Nostalgia, Gia, Gia.
Nostalgia. Hmm.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty? Okay,
So,
nostalgia. Talking about
uh,
nostalgia. So
okay,
if I have to
so
talk about like few years back, so I recently got my laptop a couple of days ago, and then
Uh-huh.
it was like it was dead from 2021, I guess, as far as I remember.
yeah.
And then,
Mhm.
bro, when I turned it on, I was like, "Fuck, boomed," there was a lot to experience. When I like first opened it, there was a video, photos of me. Even I even have a video of me, sweet 16, thinking that I was, fancy, fancy ass, doing great in life. I had a video of me, giving a speech about why I'm dropping chemistry and why it won't like matter in future. And then it sounds sick to me. I don't care. I can't watch the whole video, and then
But we're gonna we're gonna watch
yeah,
that after the pod.
and then we have a pictures from the college days when I used to be like fine as fuck. I saw the picture right now, and I look like a corporate guy. Neat and clean, tidy, good haircut, decent beards, tiny hair, and then clear dress on with. Oh my goodness, I'm a fan of myself back in the days.
Self-obsessed people, ladies and gentlemen.
Small hero.
Himal the hero, Prince of
Okay,
Australia for you.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That's being said, and whenever I open like Chrome or Brave or like the A's, there was this stuff. I was reading a serial code. I was doing coding Python. I was like doing the integration differences and stuff. Everything was there, and then when I
Hmm.
see it, it says like 2021, last edited or like last open in 2021, 2022. And then
Hmm.
that's crazy. Even even with the though I even like reviewed my 2022 goals, the yearly goals, and then I tend to complete. I have written like four or five of them, and then it tend to be like I was only able to complete one of them. I guess I don't know.
As usual. That's
Yeah,
also an
it
old
feels
habit. That's
yeah.
also an old habit, it seems.
Nah. This year I'm going doing good till now. I'm doing good.
So
I
yeah.
gotta do my best this year.
So are you done, Himal, or should I let it speak?
Yeah, I'm done as of now. I would like to hear some from you guys.
So yeah, I remember one really like huge burst of nostalgia when I went to Butol back in 2022. Oh, it's already almost
Hmm.
3 years. So at that time,
3 years, yeah.
I hit a really big nostalgia, I would say, because see, I went to Murgia where my Didi is, Fupu Didi is, right? So
Hmm.
she has two kids. One who has just completed his Yashi and one who studies in like seven or something. Like the age difference is almost the same between me and my brother, right? So yeah,
Hmm.
when I went there in 2022, so after they got back from the school, they carried the cricket bat, they carried the ball, and they went to the field. And I obviously tagged along with them because obviously if it's cricket, I'll be there, right? And when I
Uh-huh.
went to the field and when we played cricket, everything started hitting to me like, I mean, I literally could see myself there, back in the days, back in Sukkot, right? We used to do the same. We
Uh-huh.
used to come from school, get back from school, eat something, and then just go and play cricket. And it was such a nostalgic moment for me. I played a bit. I couldn't even hit much runs, even though I was literally playing with kids. 5, 7, 10 class kids, and I had already completed my 12. But it had been like 2 or 3 years I hadn't played cricket. So yeah, I couldn't perform good, but that's not the focus. uh, you know, the whole thing reminded me, the ground as well, the bat, the ball, the people, the people are in the community, in the toll, gathering around the kids, and they're all going to play cricket. So it was a really nostalgic moment for me, and I remembered, every bit of us going to play cricket, playing matches, losing every single time. And yeah, it was one of the best nostalgic moment I can remember right now. But if there is more, I'll get back into it. But for now, I guess yeah, it was one of those. But yeah, there's another fun fact. 1 year later, I went to there again, and this time they were playing football instead of cricket. So no, that was not nostalgic. That was not nostalgic because I'm not a football fan, right? I only play football in, I only play FIFA in Xbox. So yeah. Yeah, Chris, maybe you
Uh-huh.
can share a couple of more nostalgic moments, I guess.
Yeah, for me personally, I have always been a very nostalgic person from a young age. Even back in the day, I remember I used to take out the family albums from my father's drawer, and I used to look back at the pictures when I and my brother were young. And for some reason, I don't know if it's like there's a scientific reason to it. Nostalgia brought me dopamine at the time. Also a little sense of sadness, but still there was still some dopamine that I would receive out of looking at those old like past pictures, right? Like being nostalgic itself. And even to this day, like what I have always done is I have always recorded myself at different moments and I've always kept those videos stored, I mean, I've uploaded it on YouTube and I like when reflecting it today, I realized that I have recorded almost all of my crucial moments from high school till date and I feel like it'll serve a very great purpose later on because right now, I mean, even for our podcast, right? So what we discussed initially was that when we grow up later on and when we reflect back on
Yeah,
how we used to think,
right.
right?
I
We'd
mean,
feel nostalgic.
the
We'd feel, yeah, it'll be a source of, yeah, it'll be a source of dopamine too. It'll be a source of laughter, and overall, I feel like it is a good habit to store these kind of memories in some like in a memory lane. And yeah, me personally, I've always been that kind of guy, right? Uh, see, the other day, what my dad posted was I found a story. I had never seen this picture, okay? But my dad posted a story. And then looking back at this, I got so nostalgic, man. This was my picture with Ama, right? And even more
Ooh,
than me and my
that's real good.
Ama,
Hey,
yeah, even more than me and my Ama, I was more nostalgic about this bottle. This bottle had been a very crucial part of my early days from LKG to, I don't know, grade one back in when I used to study in Old Banishore. And when I saw this, I had completely forgotten that I had a thing like this, like a bottle like this. And when I saw this bottle like the other day, when my dad posted this story, I was
oh,
so
personal.
nostalgic at the moment. Like, like dopamine release that I talked about, that really happened to me. So I can clearly say that nostalgia does bring dopamine, okay?
Hmm.
But one interesting question that I've always thought of is, see, we tend to feel like I mean, all of us normally generally tend to say that, oh, our childhood days were so easy going, wish I could go back to my childhood days. The days were so fun. But is that really the case, or is it just our nostalgia speaking? Because what I feel like is when you live in the present, you do not appreciate it as much as you do when you feel nostalgic about it. So when I talk about like the nostalgic days, right? If I was currently present in that moment, I would not have missed that moment quite much as I do right now. And to me back then, it may not have been as important as I feel it is right now, right? So I feel like nostalgia is not just about remembering the past stuff or like in general terms, what used to happen back then might not have been as important as we make it out to be while feeling nostalgic. And
Yeah,
what do you guys think about this?
yeah.
Like
Actually,
I really feel like it's a very psychological thing that we
yeah.
talk about.
I have a theory on this one actually. So here's the deal. So if
Hmm.
you're in the present, you're just going through every second, right? And it doesn't feel so special if you're just going through, one at a time, one by one. But 10 years from now on, we'll not be remembering each and every details, but only the highlights, right? So see,
Hmm.
watching a whole test cricket match for 5 days is boring, but watching the highlights, that's a fun one. So I believe
Uh-huh.
that's the same case because you later on you only remember the fun part, only the good details, only the important details because your mind forgets those small little things, right? So if you look back,
Hmm.
you feel like, oh my goodness, it was so great, it was so good, and stuff like that, right? So I believe that's the reason
Hmm.
we feel really great thinking about the past, and we feel nostalgic about it. Because see, even the time right now, we're not feeling nostalgic or anything right now. We're just going through with it. But 10 years from now on, we'll be watching this pod. We'll be feeling really
Hmm.
nostalgic. We'll be thinking to ourselves, "Oh my goodness, we should do this. We should talk about this and stuff like that," right? So
Uh-huh.
yeah, this is the whole point of this pod is to feel
Uh-huh.
nostalgic later on. That's why we started. But
Uh-huh.
yeah, while when we're right here, right now, doing the things, we don't we just go through it. But later on, we'll only
Uh-huh.
remember the highlights. We'll not remember Chris not making to the pod. We will not remember, we'll not remember us being
Uh-huh.
angry because we couldn't get the pod up because Chris is, really busy for no reason. Even though he's the most free guy,
Uh-huh.
he doesn't have time. So, right, will not be angry
Oh man.
because Himal is like, doing Prince of Australia. We'll feel nostalgic about it, right? We'll not be annoyed at Himal's and
Uh-huh.
then, but rather we'll have a laugh about it. That's what it is, I
Uh-huh.
guess.
No,
Yeah,
that,
totally,
that that
totally agree with that. I totally agree with that.
yeah,
So
that's a good way to
I,
wrap
I
it.
have a
Because
like
yeah.
I have a story that I would like to share with you guys. Like when I first moved out from a country, came here, I always complain about the environment that I have been through. So we used to have a fun,
That's it.
a lot of fun when I was back home, and then I used to expect
Mm-hmm.
the same thing from the people,
Absolutely.
and it started feeling, you know, I wish I had the same thing going on for a while. Later on, I started making friends. A friend, not a friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to think that so that's not the same kind of bond I can expect from the friend that I have made here. But things were different. So
Mm-hmm.
he was about to move to Sydney once he was done with his like half of the studies or like a semester, and then we really had a like. So what I did was like I really did a stupid thing with him just for the sake of doing, for maintaining my coolness, for the sake of being a cool guy. And then even that thing, it was like I was doing the thing 6 months earlier, feels like nostalgia. Nostalgia. Nostalgic? What the fuck is that? What's that again? Oh
Uh,
my goodness. Um,
Nostalgia. Yeah.
okay, nostalgia. So it feels nostalgia right now. So
Himal,
I used to
you,
go to,
you feel
yeah,
nostalgic thinking about you couldn't spell nostalgic. So that's why.
yeah, yeah,
You gotta think about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally agree.
Maybe you won't
No,
because
but
you'll
yeah.
still have pronunciation issues.
No, no, no.
Yeah, that could be the case too. But no, I like the way another wrap this thing up about how what we tend to remember are only the good moments, right? But the question is that can you feel nostalgic about a bad moment? Is that
um,
possible? Is it a thing?
I mean, you
Maybe
feel
yes.
wait. You feel trauma about the bad moments, not nostalgia, Chris. We have a trauma. The word trauma for that thing. The nostalgia about bad moments is trauma. You know, I guess.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be a thing, right? So I think like overall nostalgia is an optimistic term probably, right? So it
Yeah.
is supposed to represent a positive feeling,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
Yeah, I think yeah, trauma
you see, Chris, I'll
could
give
be
you an
the
example.
antonym for
Yeah.
nostalgia.
So you
Hmm.
see really, kids maybe in 5th class getting beaten in their ass, bang bang by their teacher. You don't feel nostalgia
Hmm.
about it. You feel traumatized about it, right? Oh my goodness, those were the days where we also used to get beaten up like this. I mean, it's not the case
Hmm.
nowadays. I don't think teachers beat students nowadays, but still, you won't really feel nostalgic. You'll feel more like traumatized, about that event in the past.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, but what about just average moments, you know? So what
you
I think is nostalgia, see, in my opinion, nostalgia, I mean, I might be over explaining it, right? I mean, I might be exaggerating it, but what I feel like is nostalgia is a way of self-deception. That is like you're basically lying to yourself in a way that you tend to feel that the moment that you're thinking about was so fun, so good, right? But as you talked about, like as you said, right, in the present we don't feel that way, right?
Yeah.
But when we feel nostalgic about things, and since we only tend to think about the good moments, right? I think we tend to exaggerate, or like we tend to deceive ourselves in thinking that that moment was very fun or precious when actually, in fact, that was not the case, actually, you
So,
know?
Chris, yeah, you brought up pretty interesting topic, but like the way you put it up, I don't think that's the case because see, self-deception, I would not put the word deception on that thing because deception would be lying to yourself even though you know it shouldn't be the case. So here's an example of deception. So Himal knows Himal isn't good looking, but he still says he is. That would be self-deception, right? But if Himal thinks he is good,
Mhm.
that would not be self-deception. That would be delusional. But I mean that's not where I'm going. That's not where
Okay.
that's not where I'm trying to
In
go.
the
I mean,
first place, why even
Yeah,
I'm getting pointed
yeah.
out? Like
I
No, I
mean,
like this
that's I've
example. Yeah,
said.
yeah,
Simone.
example. We gotta do relatable example
Yeah,
for the audience.
you guys
Easily,
are you
easily
guys are
digestible and relatable example for the audience. Sorry about that. I couldn't think of anything else.
you guys are getting personal in forward, and then you guys complain when I get personal in back camera.
All right, Himal. Anyway,
Hmm.
Go on.
as I was saying, so I would not call it self-deception, rather than it's the way our mind works, maybe. Because see, if you watch the movie, animated movie Inside Out, was it Inside Out? Yeah. The movie about the the emotions, different sad emotions, happy emotions, anger,
Mhm,
disgust.
mhm,
Do you guys have
mhm.
you guys watched that?
I don't remember. I feel
Nah.
like I watched it, but I don't
Yeah,
remember.
so in that movie, what happens is that inside you have different sort of emotions, right? So each event that
Mhm,
happens is like factored by one of the emotions. So you have a memory and you have an emotions associated with that. So you got your visa, you've got happy emotions and maybe a little bit of sad emotions as well mixed up in that memory, right? So you got the $5,000 or what was it? You won the hackathon, so you got really happy emotions attached to it. So your memory is not
mhm,
standalone. You have emotions attached to your memory, and as the time goes by, the small memories they start to fade away, and you only store your precious memories out there. And
mhm.
so it would not be deception because you don't remember the small details. If you only remember the good things, it will not be deceiving yourself. Rather, you look back, you only see the good memories or like the memories that really matter, and you say to yourself,
Mhm.
that was a great time, right? It's like watching
No,
the
but still,
highlights.
I
Yeah,
but it's still not like I would forget about every small detail too. For like example, what I could give as an example is our Pokhara trip, right? All three of us. I would feel nostalgic about whenever if I ever go to a club, I'd feel nostalgic about us going to that I think cat club, right?
catwalk.
And
Yeah,
I mean catwalk, sorry, yeah, catwalk. And if I'm sitting beside a lake someday, I would probably feel nostalgic about us sitting beside that lake, right? But that doesn't mean that I have forgotten about how Himal used to be angry with us and we had that whole argument, right? That is still always out there. But when I tend to think about my Pokhara moments, I tend to filter those moments out and only think about our catwalk dance and and the lakeside stuff, But yeah, so in
yes,
that sense, I feel like we in that sense it is basically I am basically deceiving my way of thinking into thinking that our trip was very enjoyable, that
yeah, Chris.
it was very fun, the whole moment.
Here's a catch. So you brought up a really interesting thing. So at one point, so if you think about Himal getting angry right now, you don't really feel annoyed, do you? You feel like you feel really funny, look at this stupid guy. He was so stupid. And you have a good laugh
Bro,
about it.
getting personal back to back
No,
again.
quickly,
Bro, getting
sorry, Mal. It was just an example Chris gave, and I need to, maybe work
Mhm,
on that and provide an explanation to Chris. So you don't really feel
mhm.
like you don't feel annoyed right now if you think about it.
Yeah,
You feel more of like that he was really stupid, and you have a good laugh.
yeah,
I will not consider that a
yeah.
bad memory. So maybe,
Yeah, I'm
oh wait, maybe here's the catch. Even the bad memories, they turn nostalgia, and you feel, wait, so
yeah, and
maybe,
that is
oh, that's a great
Bro,
point.
yeah,
that's
that
the
is
Yeah.
deceiving yourself,
No, that is
because
not
at the
deceiving.
moment,
So, Chris,
see, at the moment when Himal was very, very annoying, we generally used to feel that he was annoying, right,
yeah,
in
yeah,
Pokhara at
yeah,
that moment.
yeah.
But when we look at it right now, we feel like, oh, that is so funny that, wow, we enjoy looking back into that moment. So what we're basically telling ourselves was that
bro.
that
What about
moment
you in
is
Pokhara, bro?
very,
You're almost
no,
dead, bro.
So, yeah.
no, that moment
I
was
saved you, bro.
very fun. That moment is very fun to look back into, which was not exactly the
All
case. So
right,
we're
Chris.
basically deceiving
Yeah,
ourselves.
I got this. I got this. You brought up a really, really interesting
Mhm,
topic. So, here's my explanation on that. So, when we look back into our memories, we look it from a third party perspective. Even though it's us, even though it was us who were there, we kind of associate
mhm,
ourselves with the memory, but it's more of like, watching a movie, right? It's not like you're
mhm,
right there. You're not in the first person perspective. And the thing that happened back then does not bother you right now, which means
mhm,
it's okay that happened because it did bother us back then when
mhm,
we were ourselves, and Kimmel was literally annoying us. We got
mhm,
we got frustrated, yeah. But right now, thinking about it, we don't get frustrated because we cannot be frustrated because he once showed a behavior like that back then, right? So
mhm,
one thing we were looking at our memory from a third party perspective, and the other thing that memory doesn't bother us now, which means it's not a bad memory. If it still bothers you, I mean, it can be a bad memory, but if it doesn't bother you right
mhm,
now, I believe you will not see it in
mhm,
in a bad way, maybe, right?
mhm. I mean,
So
yeah,
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 it
bad
does
memory.
make
I can give
sense,
you an
I guess.
example of a bad memory mentioning the guy who is pointing me out.
I mean,
What he
well,
did in Pokhara, Chris, you do remember, right? He was frustrated because I wasn't helping him to get his stuff from the hotel, as he was
I mean
so called,
that's what we're
in
so
talking
yeah,
jail.
about,
And
right?
here's an example. Yeah, so I recently had an accident, and you guys forced me to go to Pokhara. With my literally,
no
I
way.
was I was only one leg guy. My knee was really hurt. I couldn't walk properly, and you guys took me to Pokhara.
Mhm,
Freaking ass!
We didn't we
If you
didn't
could have,
care.
wait, wait,
We
wait,
didn't
wait.
care.
If you guys had waited just 1 week, I would have recovered. I would have healed, and everything would have been perfect. But what you guys did, you
Things would have
guys,
been different. Things would have been different
yeah,
then.
maybe I would not have you would not have gotten angry. Maybe we
Nah,
would not have
nah.
that memory right now.
What?
Maybe we'd only
We
have
we
good
we we
memories.
like.
Yeah.
What if like no? It's like what needs to be done. Well done in like time. So never made an issue about the past event. We had
mhm,
a fun in Pokhara. We met the guy from the store. We gave him a gift. We
mhm.
met the great people in Bandipur. We had a fun there. What if we
Yeah,
had
great people,
like
really
we
great
get there
people.
a week?
That so yeah, here's an example of bad memory, guys. Example of bad memory is that old ass dude. He thinking
Yeah,
about him still annoys me, right? So this is an example of bad memory, and I don't feel
that is
nostalgic about
trauma.
it. See, the thing is, the difference
I
between
feel
what
frustrated about it. Yeah,
the difference between what makes you nostalgic and what does not is that if you still feel annoyed about it, you will not feel nostalgic. You'll feel different emotions, I guess. But see, Himal getting angry
Mhm.
didn't don't make us, frustrated anymore. So we feel nostalgic about that too. So it depends on you and your present emotional conditions, I guess, on whether you feel nostalgic or not.
Yeah, but see, getting back to the same topic, I mean, we're revolving around the same thing, right? But when we look back at Himal arguing, we find it funny, right? These days, we find it like a source of laughter, sometimes. But in the end, what we
but you know
experienced
what?
back in the day and what we are experiencing right now are completely different emotions. So that is why I
No,
was trying
bro.
to
One
point
sec.
out that
Yeah.
are we
One
like
sec.
actually deceiving ourselves?
So no,
You know what?
we're not deceiving ourselves.
No,
Rather, the
no.
memories we think
One sec.
about.
One sec.
dep-
You know what?
What are you doing, Mike?
Sangarnika. You know what?
See, we got annoyed about this right now, but when we look into this pod 10 years later on, we'll be laughing. What the hell did you do him all? Right?
Bro, I'm Luffy. Sangarnika.
Because
How
In the
did that
air.
come?
In the air. Bro.
Okay.
Because I made you laugh
Mhm.
throughout the time, That's what fun girl would do. That's
I
what
mean,
Sangha is supposed to
you
do.
don't need to do anything. We can just look at you and laugh. I mean, you don't have to get yourself.
Bro, I made you guys childhood awesome. You guys were laughing. You
No,
guys wasn't
annoying.
depressed because I was there.
You made our
No,
childhood
oh,
annoying. Well, thank you for that.
no, bro, no, no, no.
So,
Thank you.
Chris, as I was saying,
Uh-huh.
I believe it's on your current emotions and whether that event impacts you or not. So,
Hmm.
like back then we used to be annoyed, right? But like now that thing doesn't annoy us. And if
Yeah.
it does not right now. If when we're thinking about that event, and if it does not annoy us, we feel nostalgic. That's my theory.
Yeah, and we feel nostalgic, and we are deceiving ourselves by feeling nostalgic.
I mean, see, because, Chris, if
Uh-huh.
we're not deceiving ourselves, that word deceiving itself is a deceiving word.
Bro. What the?
Deceiving means chal kapat. Okay, it means
No,
lying.
see,
We're not lying
deceiving.
to. So
Uh,
if you're truly
uh-huh.
feeling that
Illusion.
way from within yourself, that's not deceiving. You
Uh-huh.
just made that way. God made you that way, or you evolved that way. 1 billion years, human beings evolved that way.
Uh-huh.
So it's
Uh-huh.
not
Okay,
deceiving.
think of it.
The definition
Okay.
of deceiving is wrong, man. Seriously, you gotta look that up. Wait,
Okay, see,
let
think
me
of
Google.
it in.
Chris, I had a great example.
Uh-huh.
You're lacking because it's midnight for you, and it sucks.
No,
I
see, see,
know.
see.
I
See,
can
Deceiving,
feel your pain.
Chris.
deceiving basically means you. Yep.
Yeah, here's the meaning of deceiving by Google. Deliberately cause someone to believe something that is not true, especially for personal gain. So, are we,
Yeah.
when we think about that incident, are we really, deliberately causing ourselves to feel good about it? Or are we just feeling good about it?
So I had an example. I had
Mhm.
an example. It's like
Are we
failing
forcing
to admit.
ourselves? Yeah.
So I Google it. So it's like fail to admit to oneself that something is true. So
I mean, yeah.
Ananda is such a dude, Chris. That we had a discussion before the pod. Ananda is such a dude, and then he fails to admit that he's such a dude. Still, Ananda is dude is a true statement. So that's make him dude.
No, Himal.
So that's the great
That
example
was a
of
horrible
whoa, bro.
example. You wasted our audience time. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Chris, please,
Bro, why would
Okay.
you agree? Because
Yeah.
you're being
Please,
dragged
please
down into
ignore
the topic
Himal.
right now.
please ignore Himal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'd like to tell my audience to ignore Himal, okay, for the time being.
yeah,
You guys
host.
are
Uh,
not good, eh?
but okay, no, okay, we can move on, man. We have been into
So I
this
didn't
topic
intend to
enough.
deceive people into thinking that it was a French champagne.
Uh-huh.
Chimpanzee. Okay, chimpanzee. That's the
Okay,
example
see.
that Google gave it to me.
Did you just say champion to chimpanzee?
No. There's champagne. I was champagne. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
uh,
care.
the wording is kind of wrong, Chris. I'd say, but like the what you're trying to
Uh-huh.
say is kind of makes sense. But I
Uh-huh.
feel like I've already explained everything on why we feel the way we feel when we're thinking about the positive and why why it
Mhm.
works the way. So,
Yeah, it makes sense. Uh-huh. Okay, but okay, new topic. Okay, new question.
mhm.
What would be a moment uh that you didn't realize was the last time until it was too late for you guys?
Jagdol,
Like
Chris,
what is yeah,
Jagdol.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing that came
I
into
knew
my
it was
mind
See,
coming.
too when you
I
talk
that's
knew.
about
Like,
that.
yeah, yeah.
see, not going to Jagdol is not a nostalgic moment. It's a freaking annoying thing because I'm still affected by it. Right?
It's
That's the
regret.
difference.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the regret. Yeah, agreed.
yeah. So,
But no, what about another thing? Because For me, see, even not going to Jogdol, I mean, it still was painful, but it was not the worst that, it was not the worst because we did go to 70, I think 2 or 3 days ago, where you canceled your date with someone, and we got to hang out, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel very grateful for that,
Mm-hmm.
Cancel the
so
idea,
which is why missing Jogdol was not that much
I'm
of
still,
a nice
I'm still trying
feeling.
to figure out who's the one like Ananda canceled the date
bro.
with. There are a
You
couple of
know
options.
what the
Yeah,
fuck.
I'm confused
See,
between
you getting
two. I'm
personal. You
confused.
you getting personal, right? You're trying to portray myself as a bad guy or something like that. Please, Himal.
No,
And it was not
no.
even meant to be a date. It was meant to be just a meet, just get together, I guess. That was not date back then.
13th edition of the 13th edition of my book goes to you. I'll deliver it to your home. Okay. Thank you.
All right, Chris. Yeah, we can move on.
But like, no, does Himal, do you have any the last time like you felt that you never even realized that this would be the last time before it all went away, Has there ever been a moment like that for
Bro,
you?
everything since I get my visa, I was not like I didn't feel a thing. I don't know, but so
Hmm.
we had a great time though.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But my concern is, so I wasn't prepared for the worst. I was prepared for the mental breakdown or like my, I was ready for the journey, but I never had an idea that it will be a long time. Really, yeah, I had an idea, but I didn't like
Hmm.
take it as so. It's been more than a year now, and then even riding a bike, I would say, even riding a bike, I didn't think that it would be my last time doing it.
See,
And
before coming to the US, right? What I used to think is, oh, this is my last time looking at this pencil. Oh, this is my last time looking at this pen. Oh, so sad. I
Bro,
used to
that's
feel
too
that
much.
way. Okay?
That's
I
too
used
much.
to, yeah, I used to over
bro,
exaggerate my emotions
that's
back in the time.
girl stuff. You're acting like a girl,
I
sweetie,
mean,
No, it's still
daddy's
Chris,
girl.
valid too
Chris,
because that
Chris,
was the last time I was seeing it.
Chris been looking at his underwear and oh, this is the last time I'm looking at it.
No, all the underwears are
It has
gone
No.
in
so
life.
many holes, man. Yeah, truly, truly, my friend.
And you do feel
So,
nostalgic when your underwear has been with you for like, 3, 4 years. It has always been your friend, in good and bad times, in
Yeah,
good days, bad days.
it took your lords as well. What the fuck?
Yeah,
Change the
it never
topic.
left your side,
bro, 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 getting personal.
It
Uh,
never left your side.
okay,
For me, what
so
I would say is, when we went on our trip to Rara, right?
Mhm,
So, you guys remember sleeping that day and waking up the next morning?
mhm.
So what
on a
we
tent
all of us
or
did
like on
was
a yeah.
we opened the tent, right?
Yeah,
So what I had not realized, what in the the thing that makes it more, very remorseful is that I used to think that we were staying there for 2 days. Okay, so I thought that we were staying the other day too, so we will get to stay in the tent for the other night too. Okay, so what I didn't realize was the beauty that we experienced after opening the tent, like
Zip
because
up
the
the tent,
last
yeah.
night we hadn't seen a whole lot,
Oh yeah,
a good view of the lake at all. It is fully
yeah. It was
dark.
already late.
It was, yeah, we were not able to see it. And after opening the tent, you could see a horse standing there, the bells ringing, and the whole lake view, right? So I was not able to embrace that moment as much as I would have if I knew that it was my last time opening the tent, because at the back of my mind, I used to think that, oh, tomorrow also we'll do the same thing. So, I was taking it in a kind of in
granted, for
a
granted.
normal way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, not exactly for granted, but I mean, I did enjoy it, but I still feel like, oh, I'll get this tomorrow too. I'll get to experience this. It might be better too tomorrow. But
I
turns
think.
out that was our last day,
Yeah, I
you
think
know.
Chris. Yeah, you put up a really interesting thing, and I believe that I never thought that way. I never thought that it was when doing something. I never thought,
Mhm.
okay, this is the last time I'll be doing this.
Yeah,
And
which is why, like, which is why I wanted to call myself a very nostalgic person
I
because
mean, yeah,
everything that I do, I tend to think whether I will be able to do it again or not
Chris. But
in
here's the
most
question:
cases, you know?
do you really get to enjoy what you're doing if you're thinking about that?
Yeah, and that's the thing we discussed too, right? We
Yeah,
discussed
we did.
about it on our
Yeah,
70 right?
we did discuss
So that
about
is
that.
one problem with me. My personal problem is that I tend to think of the current moment and tend to feel like I'll not be experiencing this moment again, which in turn affects me
Your
being in the present
present
moment and
moment.
enjoying it right
Yeah,
now, you
I
know?
think I suggest you not thinking about that because that really messes up with your head.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the moment and thinking that, oh my goodness, this is not going to happen again, then you start to feel sad
Mhm.
instead of being happy that this moment is going on. Maybe it's
Yeah, but
yeah, maybe it's
uh-huh.
better to just enjoy the thing and then later on realize, oh, that was my last time, huh? Rather than going,
Uh-huh.
oh, this is my last time. I'll look at every single detail. Oh, and going crazy that you'll not be able to have that
Oh,
moment
my
again.
pencil, oh, my pen, oh, I'll not be seeing it
Yeah.
again.
So for me, I
I
would say
love.
like so as we're traveling to Bandipur and Pokhara,
Uh-huh.
so I really had no idea that it will take years and years for us to get back together and do the crazy stuff again. Because
Yeah,
when
right. Uh-huh.
what we
And
did was absolutely amazing,
yeah,
and it will take ages, man. Even if I get back home, you won't be there. Even if you get back home, I won't be there. So for
uh-huh.
us, three of us to be together, it might even take a decade, to be honest.
So here's the
And there
thing,
might be
actually.
our own
And
personal
that's
problems too, you know.
Do you guys
Yeah.
remember us sitting at the lakeside on the last day before we get back to Kathmandu and talk about that? Maybe we'll be thinking about this and feel really nostalgia because we
yeah,
thought that
Mhm.
we don't know when this moment is going to come back to us, and we did discuss
Yeah.
this. You guys remember, right?
yeah,
On the lakeside.
yeah. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, before the like before we were almost
Yeah,
from the
before we rush
group of three
to
to two, right? Now before we
Yeah,
were almost like
before
from the
Chris,
group of three to
before Chris
two.
almost fell
Yeah, almost dead.
to the lake
Oh
of
yeah.
Pokhara.
But and then I had to go to the rescue like real quick. Come on, Chris, don't do a suicide. This was feeling
Man, I
sad
was
about some
safe, man.
girls.
Yeah,
If you're
I was
listening,
safe, man.
You're in no place.
uh,
You're in no place. Like
Uh, but yeah,
uh,
okay, one more question, okay? What would be one moment or like 1 minute of your life that you would want to relive again? You know, it might be it might be a bad moment too, where, you might feel like, oh, if I could go back and like apologize to that person or forgive that person, it would be great. But it could also be like a good time that we all spent, you want to go back, enjoy it again. What would be a good time you want to go back?
I don't know, man. But I have a
And you could have
question.
some regrets too, so you could like fix your regrets too.
I mean, we've talked a lot about regrets and stuff like that, so I don't think I can remember it right now. But hey, here's a really interesting thing that came to me. And if you guys want to continue this topic, continue, and then I'll add that after you guys are done.
Yeah, Himal, do you have any moment that you would want to relive, re-experience or like change in some way, hopefully?
nah, I would say I don't like to change anything that I have experienced till the
Yeah,
date.
I mean, whatever happened happened for the good. If it were not for the past events
Yeah,
that happened, maybe we would not have
Yeah.
been the way we are now, right? So why think about
yeah. So
change
that's
it
what, like
or yeah?
Mhm.
I think
Yeah, but it's not
it's like
all, not just about regret too, like even the fun times.
yeah, even the fun times, yeah,
If you had to go back.
the fun times are good the way they are because if we get to relive that, maybe we will not have this. I mean, you mean going back to the same place
Mhm.
and reliving,
Yeah,
or
basically.
yeah, but like you can relive your moments in your memories. So I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah.
hypothetically, hypothetically,
Maybe
what I would go, but where I would go back is us touching the rhinoceros, and
fuck
then
you,
I
man.
would really no, I mean by us, I mean Himal and me, okay? And what I would genuinely feel is, oh, this is my last time touching a rhino in Chitwan,
Come on. So
And I would
I'll
feel so much more nostalgic about that. Thank God that we had a video because if we didn't have a video by now, I feel like I would
nobody
have,
would have believed us. Nobody would have
yeah,
believed us.
I feel like I would have, not even remember. I feel like this time I would really be deceiving myself if I didn't have the video. I'd be like, oh, did I actually touch? I don't think I actually touched it. I would, even I would not believe in myself. But thank God we had the video.
So, guys,
Always good to look back into it.
I have a question for you guys. So, even though it's kind of,
Mhm.
even though the thing that I'm asking is kind of like a good thing is in its own way, but here's a question. Did you guys enjoy Rara more or Bandipur and Pokhara more? Or which one do you feel more nostalgic about? Because I just realized that
Yeah,
this is the
I
same
would go
group.
with like Pokhara, you know.
We're the
Yeah,
same.
I would go with the
Yeah.
no. I would still choose the
Mhm.
Pokhara and Bandipur because when we were traveling to Rara, nobody was like leaving home real soon. We are there for a while. I had an idea that like I won't be gone after Rara. I'll be still there with the group. I'll be still having a fun, a lot of fun.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, but when it comes to like Pokhara and Bandipur, like I was almost here. Like I think I was like doing my visa processing and almost like
Yeah,
at
you
the
had
end.
already got you had
And
already
then
got your visa.
yeah, and then
Yeah.
I was waiting for my decision. Even if it was rejected, I would like things would have been different. And then eventually Chris would have lived the country either way because there was no chance that Chris would have a visa rejection for the US. And then things would have been different. And I was already so actually there's a dot. So you asked me why did we went to Bandipur and Pokhara even though you had an accident and we didn't wait for a week because I knew it. Things might be different. Thanks to Australian High Commission that I got my visa lately. What if I had like got my visa before the trip? Things would have
You
been different.
you got your visa really almost 1 month later after we got to Pokhara.
No, but still, bro, we're talking like on the assumption that we can make. So that was because, bro, you'll never know. That was not in my control. So I was that's the reason
I
I
mean,
was like,
we would have still went to Bandipur, I feel like, because even after you did receive your visa, you know
nah,
how we went to
we
Chitwan with
would have
everything.
went to Bandipur and Pokhara, but we might ended up going with the Kusalda, Nilda, Prasanda, and things would have been different. We're all three by ourselves. We're
Mhm.
doing the crazy stuff on ourselves. That's the so. What I mean is like Chitwan was fun. Chitwan was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I
But
mean
that's not
Chiton,
the us moment.
nothing compares with Chiton. I mean, but yeah, it was not just the three of us. So
Yeah, so it's different. Yeah, I didn't mean to like be like mean to other guys. We had a great time. Nizda, Prasanda, Kusalda, everyone. We had a great time. But that was like it's like a hanging around with your family and then hanging around with your friends. That's the difference. So it was like kind of family stuff. Even though we had a lot of fun, it was more into that's a different fun compared to what we did in Bandipur and Pokhara.
yeah, those can be compared actually because
So
they are good in their own way.
yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
it makes sense. It
Mhm.
makes sense.
So
Yeah.
I mean, see, if I
that's
had
why
to
I was
put
like,
my, yeah,
I wasn't ready. I wasn't even for Rara. Like I was not ready to hold back for a day. That's why Chris and I had a discussion. He was like, "Fucking, you can't go to Easter West on Saturday and Sundays, and
Sunday,
then
yeah, stupid ass.
stupid
Yeah,
ass things, and due to him, like we had a really big trouble coming in. I had a discussion with the conductor throughout the way, and then we had I don't want to even remember that thing, the seat. that I have experienced back then.
Trauma, not
Trauma, yeah,
nostalgia.
that's the trauma. That's the trauma. And then I would always complain the Vezi
Uh-huh.
for that.
See, when I look back at Rara and Bandipur, see, I didn't know that Himal would definitely get his visa, right? So I was not in that
Yeah,
sort of pressure when we went to Pokhara and Chitwan. So for me, it was just another trip. I didn't know that it would be the final trip. So I assumed that it would be like a
I
normal
was
trip.
always
Mhm.
prepared. In the
Yeah,
back of
but
my head, I
I
was
didn't
always
know
prepared.
about
That's why I
like
was rushing.
you would be, you uh, it would be completely sure that you would be going to Australia after that. So because of that, I would say that the best highlights are definitely from Pokhara and Bandipur. Our trip to Pokhara and Bandipur. But overall, I would definitely rank Rara a little higher than that. The main reason is because we had always hyped Rara up like I think 1 month or 2 months prior, and we already had set our goals. We already promised that we would complete our goals and then we would go to Rara, which we actually did also, so there was always this hype too. And on top of that, since our Rara, the whole trip was more longer than our Bandipur and Pokhara trip, which made it a very long journey too. And since the whole journey was very long, the whole time in bus too, which made me feel more. Makes me feel more nostalgic, more grateful about the moments in Rara itself rather than the bus because the bus took so long to actually reach there. And
Yeah.
it was also a gateway to a lot of my new experiences as Himal. I would not want to talk about my new experiences, but definitely one was Rata Chamal and one was Lali Virasco Zeus. Okay. So
Yeah.
I feel like since I got to experience new things too, and also like it drinking 100 rupees water for the first time, 50 rupees chow chow, and
And
30 rupees
thanks to
biscuits for the
asshole,
first time,
thanks to the asshole of the group,
that was also
it was
definitely a new
you.
experience, new bucket list. But looking at those all those moments, I feel like Rara was also I don't know if I should say it publicly, but also us diving into Rara, that was also once in a lifetime moment, right?
It truly was.
Which is why I feel
I did push-ups and squat in Rara Lake itself. Yeah, it was great. Now
yeah,
that I
you
think
did,
about it,
right?
yeah, I was truly meant to be
Uh-huh.
this. Ah,
And it definitely was a gateway to a lot of first time experiences
I
for
mean,
me, which is
ASL
why I
started from
would
Rara,
prefer
so
Rara.
yeah.
Yeah, it did, of
Before
course.
Rara, yeah.
Yeah, we had
I mean,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean ASL the concept itself. You remember something, ASL. Is yeah. I mean, Rara is where it all
Yeah, I
started.
remember like yeah. So Kampai
Yeah.
Kyodai
All right. So
Tachine.
for me also, I believe I would like to put Rara a bit above because first, Pokhara was not a new place to me, and I mean,
Mhm,
yeah, as I said, we cannot really compare places, right? We cannot compare any trips with each other because they're good in their own way. And the sort of discussions, those sort of things we had in Pokhara doesn't match Rara because those were completely different time and completely different experiences. So
mhm,
yeah, why I put Rara up above than Pokhara personally for me is because I didn't have anything while going to Rara. I didn't have work. I didn't have I didn't literally have anything. I was just fully in the moment. I was just there. And it is what it is, sort of
mhm,
thing, because there was nothing holding me back. I didn't have to think about anything. But when going to Pokhara, it was more of like I wanted to try out digital nomad stuff because I had recently gotten a job and I had, YAM3, this laptop right here, and I wanted to try out digital nomading. So yeah, I was working most of the time in Pokhara, almost for 8 hours, and
yeah,
yeah, that definitely did contribute to making it a bit, less opened up, right? Because the work was always there in the back of my mind. So maybe that also contributed a bit. But yeah, definitely in terms of, having the last moment and those talks and stuff like that, it is there, but yeah, Rara was a completely different experience, and yeah, I feel like in Rara we were just three young,
Right, like
yeah, three young people just going on a random
Yeah,
journey,
I still
right?
yeah, I was
Remember
18. I feel,
remember walking up to Murma Top for like 8 hours or something. I still feel weak thinking about that. I still feel weak.
I, s-
You know,
I
you know
can
what, like,
imagine Himal,
yeah, Himal, the
Himal,
guy who said who did the highest leg press had the hardest time going upwards. I had to give him my stick, to
bro,
get upwards. But
you wanna see
still,
my legs, bro?
Himal, please,
You wanna
oh
see my
please don't,
legs?
man.
don't do
You're
that,
Big
gonna
man.
get us
legs.
cancelled, man.
Professional, mate. Yeah, so
Bro,
I
that's my
believe,
professional legs,
uh, and the other thing was that Rara was a completely new place, a completely out of the world place, right? We went to such a remote place, and yeah, it was our first trip as well. So everything combined, it was a
Hmm.
pretty great. In terms of traveling, it was a pretty great experience. And our stay in Surkhet as well, it was really great. We had
Yeah,
really fun time.
cheers. And thanks to Didi and Vinaz, we
Yeah.
really had a great time there.
And yeah, I guess
And
that
I I I think in terms of Radha trip, if I had to talk, I would say we even got like new relationships. Chris, we get to know Didi and Binazu, we get to get along with their
Yeah,
like family, Vanjis and all, being a best mama that I can possibly do. I did my best,
definitely.
becoming a best mama, out of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
And then I still used to get a call from Vanzi even after getting to Australia, I guess. It's been a
Hmm.
long since I have not talked. I feel like talking back. I know that if you're in touch, let me know.
yeah, sure, sure, sure.
Hmm. It is definitely an experience connecting with people. I always like connecting with new people in some way. It always either goes super good or it goes super bad, but most of the times it goes super good. So I'm always grateful for that.
Yeah.
You know. But still,
Um,
I think we are past our limit for this episode.
yeah,
So I
we should
think
wrap
it
this up.
is a good place to wrap it up. And this was more heavily focused on our nostalgic thing. So I think it'll be a good video to rewatch, especially three of us, But for the rest of the audience out there, it might be pretty hard to grasp what we're talking about, because it was our own experiences. But hope you liked our discussion on nostalgia itself, like the science behind nostalgia, if it was correct in any sense. But we had a fun discussion about it, good old days, as we like to call it, or is it actually deception? Who knows? But yeah,
Bro.
getting up good old days, huh? Good
Yeah.
bad days. But still, I feel yeah, I think this is
All
a
right,
good place
time
to
to
wrap
leave.
it up.
Yeah.
So we will be seeing you guys next week, hopefully, and by then I will be done with my
Next week.
exam. So we will be getting into our summer break, and watch out for my new vlog, which might be dropping soon. Hmm.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'll recommend watching mine
I mean,
because as mine is
advertising
already
your
out on
own channel.
YouTube, link will be down in the
Guys,
description.
no,
Thanks, guys.
no
I'll see
unpaid
you around.
promotions.
My too.
All right.
Bro, I'll pay you some pennies.
With,
I'll pay you some pennies.
all right. With that being said, I'm wrapping up the pod. Thank you. Bye bye.